Today, our top story, the 8,000 people evacuated from homes threatened by wildfires in Mendocino County, California, have been allowed to return home to see what's left. Tens of thousands of evacuees in other hard-hit counties like Napa and Sonoma are still waiting for permission to go back to their communities. Recent blazes in Northern California have killed more than 40 people. President Donald Trump meets with Greece's Prime Minister at the White House today. The men are expected to discuss the International Monetary Fund's role in Greece's third financial bailout. Three former U.S. presidents are also denying President Trump's assertion yesterday that they did not make any calls to families of fallen U.S. soldiers. NFL League owners, union leaders, and players will meet today to discuss the national anthem controversy. The NFL says letters and emails have poured into team offices in the 3 weeks since President Donald Trump first criticized players who kneeled to protest racial inequality. In news closer to home, a pair of health insurers selling individual policies on the Obamacare marketplace in Montana can now file for new rates for 2018 policies. That news is a reversal from last Friday, when it appeared the companies would have to eat substantial costs next year after the Trump administration canceled some subsidies. State Insurance Commissioner Matt Rosendale says Pacific Source and the Montana Health Co-op can refile rates on certain 2018 policies. Both companies say they'll file for higher rates to cover costs incurred by the loss of what are known as cost-sharing reduction subsidies. Those subsidies offset out-of-pocket discounts for low-income customers. The Trump administration announced last week it is canceling the subsidies, saying they weren't properly authorized by Congress. Pacific Source Vice President Todd Lushing says this means the individual policy marketplace will remain competitive in Montana.
It's really good that we were able to work with Commissioner Rosendale and CMS in order to reopen that window. It will allow us to really be in that level playing field and be in the marketplace. Montana has been fortunate and kept its three original insurers within that marketplace, and so I think competition is really healthy for this market.
Rosendale says he's disheartened by the company's new filings because they said they would honor the original rates regardless of federal actions. But the insurers say they had always expected to file for new rates if the policy ground rules changed. The other companies selling individual policies in Montana is Blue Cross and Blue Shield. The Huntley Project basketball coach who was killed in a crash this past weekend will be remembered in a ceremony this week. The ceremony for Kouts will take place this Friday at 11 a.m. He died on Saturday night in a rollover crash outside of Billings. The Montana Highway Patrol reported Kouts was not wearing a seatbelt at the time of the crash. School officials say Kouts has a deep passion to give back to his community.
3 years ago, we were struggling with our girls program. We had a coach resign, and then trying to find some interest in the job. There wasn't much, and Kurt took it on a short notice and really just wanted to try to bring some stability and some consistency to the girls basketball program. You know, just wanted to give back to the community.
On Friday, the public is encouraged to attend the memorial at the gym wearing Huntley Project red. Turning to court news, the hardened woman involved in the 2015 murder of a 6-year-old girl will not have to register as a violent offender. The Montana Supreme Court issued that decision in response to an appeal from 29-year-old Kirsten Oldbull. Oldbull is currently serving a 20-year sentence at the Montana Women's Prison for her role in the death of Kiamora Kiki Hogan. The coroner determined the young victim died from severe head trauma, and an autopsy revealed signs of long-term abuse. Oldbull pleaded guilty to criminal endangerment and obstructing justice. She was able to avoid a murder conviction by admitting her conduct created a substantial risk of death. The judge restricted Oldbull's parole for 17.5 years, which Oldbull called unfair. The High Court upheld the sentence but said Oldbull does not have to register as a violent offender because the crimes she was convicted of are not violent. Meanwhile, the suspect in a 2016 federal investigation involving 113 pounds of marijuana is now charged with possessing 80 pounds of the drug in Billings. 33-year-old Anthony Fujimoto was charged yesterday afternoon in Yellowstone County Justice Court with 1 count of criminal possession. Fujimoto was driving on Interstate 90 through Billings on Thursday when he was stopped for failure to signal a lane change. Fujimoto reportedly told a trooper inconsistent stories about where he was was going. The trooper obtained a warrant to search the vehicle and found 80 pounds of marijuana in the trunk. A record search revealed Fujimoto was also recently investigated for trafficking marijuana. He's being held at the Yellowstone County Jail on $60,000 bond. A Montana wind power developer is suing state regulators and the state's largest electric utility, accusing them of using discriminatory pricing to kill independent renewable power projects. The lawsuit from wind developer Marty Wild and 3 associated companies say the State Public Service Commission and Northwestern Energy are working together to set unfairly low prices for independent wind power developers. The suit says the PSC has approved much higher rates for Northwestern-owned power, while setting lower rates that the company pays to independent developers. It asked the judge to order the PSC and Northwestern to halt these allegedly illegal actions and pay damages to the companies. Northwestern Energy says it's not working to undermine renewable projects and notes that it has contracts with at least a dozen. A spokesman for the PSC also says it's misleading to compare what Northwestern gets for its power to the price paid to independent producers. Chris Pooyer says the renewable power projects are paid based on the current projected market, which is now much lower.
We're seeing today, at least in the West, is a market for electricity that's extremely oversupplied. In light of this environment of extremely oversupplied electricity prices, it simply might not be economical to build any project, whether it's wind or solar or gas.
The suit was filed last week in the State District Court in Great Falls. Elsewhere, after nearly 3 decades in the Billings community, Good Earth Market Co-op will soon close its doors. Employees at Billings' only co-op said the market is closing due to financial troubles. This is not the first time the market's board has been faced with falling revenues. The market's financial reports show sales have slumped every year since 2012. Last year, the board decided to address the issue with a major upgrade to its salad bar and deli to increase membership and sales. Now, just 8 months after that installation, the board finds itself in the same spot, but this time employees say there's no way out. The board must now determine the legality of closing the co-op, which is technically owned by its 4,700 members. The co-op's leadership has not returned our request for comment, but employees believe the market will close later this week. Secretary of the Interior Ryan Zinke has named the new head of the Bureau of Indian Affairs, and he has some Montana ties. Brian Rice will head the agency. Rice is a citizen of the Cherokee Nation and recently oversaw the Department of the Interior's Office of Wildland Fire. He has worked for the government for nearly 2 decades, starting as a member of the Helena Interagency Hotshots. Rice will oversee nearly 4,800 employees and a budget totaling $1.9 billion. The BIA coordinates government-to-government relations with the 567 tribes recognized by the United States. In other news, Montana's biggest hunting season of the year is just a few days away. Saturday marks the opening of general deer and elk season. As part of the season, Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks will step up its search for chronic wasting disease in male deer. There's been an increase of CWD in Wyoming and Canada. The hope is to catch it early if it shows up in Montana.
One of the reasons why we're mounting this big surveillance effort this year is to try and improve our odds of detecting it early. All the research to date suggests that if we can find it when it's at low prevalence, so just a small proportion of animals have it, it just increases our tools that are available to actually manage the disease. And we think long term that's what's going to mean the most in terms of maintaining health of our wild deer populations.
Chronic wasting disease affects the central nervous system in whitetail and mule deer. It's also found in elk and moose. Hunters will see checkpoints this weekend in Billings, Laurel, Lavina, Big Timber, Columbus, Livingston, and Gardner. Now, staying on the topic of wild game, we do live in Montana, so why not order wild game in the drive-thru? An Arbys restaurant in Billings is one of 3 across the country that will offer a new elk sandwich. The elk sandwich will be available starting this Saturday at the West End restaurant at 2834 King Avenue. A press release says the order of elk is topped with blackberry port steak sauce and crispy onions. Arbys also announced it will return and expand its offering of venison sandwiches to all of its restaurants. The other 2 restaurants across the country to offer the elk sandwich are in Casper, Wyoming and Thornton, Colorado.